Hello, my friends, hello, and welcome once again to stately Vaughan Manor, where Roger and I are here today to talk about the 500 book challenge. The challenge where I read 500 books I already own before I buy any new ones. This challenge was originally, well, it's based on a challenge created by CriminOlly, his Read What You Own challenge. His challenge came in 4 different tiers originally. 25 books, 50 books, 75, and 100 books. So bronze, silver, gold, and platinum. But I'm doing 500 books because I'm crazy. So I originally was going to do the 100 book challenge. I had attempted the 100 book challenge, over a year ago? I can't remember when that was, but I failed miserably. I got to about, how many books did I get to? 15 or something. It was sad. It was sad. 15 books. Didn't make it. Didn't even make it to 25 books. That's how much I sucked. But I decided this time I would do it again, the 100 book challenge. I'd attempt it again. And then I got to thinking about it. Now I have thousands of books. Thousands. So on November 17th of last year, I came out with a video just musing about the idea, hey, wouldn't it be crazy if I did a 500 book challenge instead of a 100 book challenge? That's nuts. I would never actually do that. But yeah, I actually did that. On November 20th of last year, I came back on here and said, hey, I'm doing the 500 book challenge, woohoo! And I wasn't alone. There were other booktubers that were at least going to attempt it with me. And as far as I'm aware, everybody who said that they were going to attempt the 500 book challenge are still doing it. Some have said, you know what, I'm going to get to 100 and then I will reassess. But I think there's at least a couple of us that are going to do it, that are actually going to make 500 books no matter how long it takes. In another Bibliophile Reads case, in Greg's case, he will have this all done, in a few months anyway. But for the rest of us that, don't read books that fast, it's going to take a little bit of time. I told Greg that he's going to finish 500 books before I even finish 100 books. And I think that's probably true. But nevertheless, everybody is still on board with it so far, which is, kind of cool, actually. But I wanted to talk about this because I wanted to kind of give an update on how I feel about it and how it's been going for me, and have any of my opinions about the whole thing changed since I started it. Roger's opinion has not changed. Roger hates it. You hate it, Roger. You're no support at all. Roger hasn't supported me since day one. Sorry, I got a phone call. That's one of the downsides of filming on your phone. Sometimes you forget to. Anyway, I got a phone call and that blocked off my rant against Roger and his, not supporting me in this challenge just because he likes to buy books so much. Roger loves to buy books. He's addicted. Anyway, how do I feel about it? We all know how Roger feels. How do I feel about it at this point? Well, one of the reasons I decided to even make this video is because I saw a video, was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday. Which this video is coming up tomorrow. So it'll be a couple days ago that this video came out. From Book Songs and Other Magic, where he talks about the 25 book challenge that he was on and how he failed. He couldn't do it. It was like, this 25 book challenge is the worst thing that's ever happened. It's awful. It makes me miserable. I hate it. I'm going to go buy books right now. I'm going to buy books right now. So Book Songs and Other Magic, they didn't complete the challenge, the 25 book challenge, it was funny, but I completely understand because, I was the same way the first time I did this. And I think the reason I failed so miserably last time I attempted to do the 100 book challenge, the first time I attempted to do it, was because, I was just in a different place and my channel was a little bit newer at that time and I was pretty used to doing book hauls like every week, like all the time. I would do a book haul or a big unboxing or whatever. I would literally get books here at the manor every week. Every week books would come. And, you know, it was fun and I loved to do it and it was a big part of my channel. And so I was like, well, what if I don't do book hauls once a week? You know, what the hell am I going to do on my channel, you know? What else is there to do other than book hauls and unboxings? And so that concerned me. And that was probably the major concern. And plus I was just used to it. I was just used to, you know, getting books all the time. But this time it's a little bit different. First of all, I had to do a bit of an unhaul because I knew I just had too many books. Which sort of changed my thinking a little bit. Like, man, I've got a lot of books here. Thousands of books. You know, maybe I should actually read these books that I have. And I was used to the idea of not actually going to the bookstore to buy books because I had, you know, suffered through the pandemic like everybody else and wasn't particularly comfortable going to the bookstore anyway. So, you know, during the pandemic. And so when the pandemic was sort of over, I guess it's sort of over now, I've gone back to my favorite bookstore a few times and it was fun. But I'm used to not doing that. That's something that I could shift back into not going because I got used to just not doing it for so long. But ordering books is another thing. I would order books like crazy. You know, well, Roger did. Roger's got a problem, you know. So I was just used to getting books, you know, showing up like all the time, literally all the time. And that was a bit of an adjustment because it used to be whatever book I thought of that I didn't happen to have, there are a few of them, not many, but there are a few. And every book I thought of that I didn't have, I'd be like, Roger, go order this book. And Roger would do it. But now I can't do that. So that was a bigger adjustment. But by the time the 500 book challenge was officially announced on November 20th, I was in a place where I felt like, you know what, I've been preparing to do the 500 book challenge my whole life. I've been buying books every week for decades. I mean, sometimes a lot of books. So that's why I've got so many books. So I've been preparing for this, really, for a long time, if you think about it. I was preparing for the day when I couldn't buy books anymore. And so there was that. I knew I had all of these books, and I want to read them. That's the other thing. All of these books I've wanted to read. In some cases, I've read them before, years ago, but I want to read them at least one more time. And there are plenty of books I've never read at all here in the manor. So all of this stuff I want to read. Basically, the only frustrating part of the 500 book challenge really has been is finding time to read the 500 books. I mean, finding time to read is always a challenge. And it's been interesting because I've been getting a lot of comments over time about how crazy I am about doing the 500 book challenge. People are like, why would you do the 500? This is insane. Why torture yourself? Why put yourself through such misery? Give it up. Give up the 500 book challenge. Just walk away. Just walk away from the challenge, Mike. Yeah, I've been getting a little bit of that here and there. Rest assured, this is not misery at all. I haven't actually had any troubles at all. I've been perfectly happy on the 500 book challenge, except for not having enough time to read the 500 books. That's it. I am on book 29 at the moment. I'm reading the Sword and Sorcery Anthology right now for February fantasy stories. I am on page 312 out of a 480-page book. I'll probably finish this by tomorrow, probably, if I have time to read it tonight. And I will have time to read it tomorrow morning. So I will probably finish this tomorrow, which means book number 30 is going to be this one, The Lad and the Lion by Edgar Rice Burroughs for the Edgar Rice Burroughs Deep Dive, which I've been intending to get to. I should be able to finish that. It shouldn't take more than a couple days to read that. And so after that, Roger's Cheap Old Book Club for March, The Forgotten Planet, by Murray Leinster. This is going to be book number 31. So it's kind of rolling along. You know, I'm not going as fast as some other people on the challenge, but that's okay. I knew going into this that this would be a commitment that would take years. That this would take years, you know. And I'm okay with that. And I'm feeling all right about it. And I'm feeling pretty confident that I will succeed. I mean, someday. I mean, by the time I actually succeeded this, YouTube might not exist anymore. You know, you might not actually see me succeed because it will be years in the future probably. But it will happen one day if I live long enough. Let's think positive. It will happen someday. Someday I will finish the 500 book challenge, whether YouTube exists or not. Someday I'll finish it. I mean, I pretty much have to because I'm the knucklehead who came up with the whole idea of doing 500 books instead of 100. So I'm pretty much morally bound to do it. If anyone has to do it, it has to be me. So yeah, it's going fine. All of you folks out there who are like, you know, why torture yourself? It's fine. It's not torture at all. I actually like to read. And I like to read these books that I am reading. These are books that I've been wanting to get to forever. This might actually give me a chance to read all of those vintage science fiction books I want to read before I die. This might actually help with that. Help me read them, actually, before I die. That would be nice. But it's going fine, man. You don't have to be concerned. It's all good. I don't really miss buying books at this point. Maybe someday that'll happen and I'll be like, oh man, I really wish I was buying books again. But so far, no. So far, everything's cool and everything's good with the 500 book challenge. I see no real troubles ahead. Anyway, that's my update. Wasn't that exciting? It was a thrill. Roger, like I said, hates it, but I'm fine. Okay, guys, that was my update. I will catch you next time.